Like, share, subscribe. Shouts out to the Lions Den community. And don't y'all forget to subscribe to the podcast show. Link will be pinned in the top of the chat.
Just name the channel who could bang with us. I'll prove that you are smoking dust. GTV Media is top notch in this game, y'all. You failures only have yourself to blame, y'all. Ticket TV and a weapons make you suckers cry. Why don't you close your channel, crawl into a hole and die? Shout out to those who love our movement, no, we'll never flop until you just get your mouth off LGBT. We are the underground outfit, y'all. We built this whole thing by ourselves, no in y'all. Independence start with self-preservation. If you can't take care of self, then how can you build a nation, y'all? Yup, we got that merch for the ladies and yes, we even got that merch for the babies and we got appliances and everything that you will need. We got some banging songs that make anemic haters bleed.
Man, y'all press 1 if y'all can hear me in the comments, man. I got a mic check real quick. 1 2 1 2. Press 1 if you guys can hear me in the comment section. I got a mic check, everybody. As y'all come on in here, man. Can y'all hear me? Let me know if y'all can hear me in the comments, man. Y'all can hear me? All right, bet. Man, like, share, and subscribe as y'all come on up in here, man. So it is going down officially, man, as the unbelievable has just happened with Candace Owens. And I never thought that I would ever, and I mean ever, see this day with Candace Owens. As Candace Owens has now had an entire support group turn on her because she dared speak her mind about this issue with Donald Trump. Now, Candace Owens went ballistic on Donald Trump in the aftermath of recent events. And now Candace Owens, who has a big following, a lot of people follow this lady that talks a lot of delusion a lot of the times. A lot of people have put her in a category where they think she's ultra super intelligent. But now those same people now are talking about Candace Owens like a dog, and she's getting her moment. And see, this is why I keep trying to tell y'all, man. Y'all keep thinking that if you placate, buck dance, shuck and jive, and go cut a jig, you think that that's going to help you in real life? As soon as you say something these people don't like, they're going to turn away from you, unsubscribe from you, and tell you to go straight to you nowhere. Now, Candace Owens went in on Piers Morgan. And I'm talking about absolutely in. And now all of the fans who was rolling with her because she was pro-Trump, now they hate her guts. These same people that were saying Candace is so intelligent, arguing and fussing and fighting with people like me, when I told y'all I ain't rock with Candace Owens. These same people now have turned on Candace Owens. Unbelievable stuff. Let's get to it.
As news of the Iranian retaliation was breaking. Candace, welcome back to Uncensored.
Thank you. It's good to be back, just in time for World War III.
Well, yes. Well, before we get there, how is motherhood treating you?
Motherhood is treating me great. I'm exhausted, as is to be expected with the newborn, but always a blessing.
Well, indeed it is, and I wish you all the very best with that. Okay, let's talk about impending World War III, as you put it. You are implacably opposed to what both Israel and now the United States have done here. Why?
Yeah. Because, well, first and foremost, just on the MAGA movement level, Trump came out and he gave us a promise that we were not going to be involved in wars. And I'm going back to 2015. Why did people get so excited about Donald Trump, who was then an unlikely candidate, who was being smeared by the media as being Adolf Hitler? Well, it was because he recognized that the American people were being forgotten while we were giving billions of unaccounted billions, by the way, for these never-ending wars. And so it's one of the earliest reasons that people got behind him and got behind his vision. And so we're opposed to a regime change because America as a country has a lot of problems that need to be fixed here first. It's that simple.
Right, but it's not quite that simple. And I'll explain to you why. Because Donald Trump, I think he's not being inconsistent in the sense that in his first term, he wasn't a pacifist. You know, he killed General Soleimani. He killed Baghdadi, the head of ISIS, and went after them ferociously. He attacked Syria when they killed American troops. You know, he dropped a massive bomb in Afghanistan. It wasn't like he never deployed the American military. And again, here, what he would argue, and has been arguing, is he's not declared war on anybody. What he's done is very specifically target Iran's nuclear capability because of latest reports coming out, which said they had taken the enrichment of their uranium stocks from 3.5% to 60%, and that therefore the leap to weaponization was moving at a pace that couldn't be tolerated. I got to say, I kind of agree. Now, if he suddenly commits, troops on the ground, then that becomes a different thing altogether. But even when Trump talked about regime change, I think he meant from within, as we saw in Syria in December, where the people themselves rise up. And if that was to happen, why would that be a bad thing?
Okay, so you're asking a lot of questions here. So first and foremost, the idea that you have to formally declare war on like a piece of paper in order for war to happen is a little bit ridiculous. I mean, he dropped bombs. In Iran. So yes, we are a part of this war, whether we like it or not. Iran is now speaking and saying that they're going to shut down the Hormuz Straits. There's going to be impact on oil.
Why would they do that? Why would they do that when the main victim of doing that would be Iran? I mean, 50% of China, of the traffic of stuff through there is for China, which is one of their allies.
Don't care, not my business. The point that I'm making here is that to make the assumption that you can just drop bombs on a country and then say, well, you know what, we didn't formally declare war, it's patently ridiculous.
Now, see, I'm going to say something, man, because when I was saying that, everybody said I was ridiculous. But these all same people was riding with Candace Owens. It's crazy how people was hating on me. They've been loving on Candace Owens, capping on Candace Owens, protecting Candace Owens. Then she say what Ticket said about how this country got involved in a war when we said we wasn't even going to do that. And now all of a sudden, all the people hate her now. All the same people who was fighting against anybody. If you say you didn't like Candace Owens, people was going crazy against you. What do you mean? What do you mean? Candace is great. Candace is this. Now all of a sudden, they all hate Candace, and she's losing a lot of her support. Why? Because she had to harden up to say something? We are at war. Once you attack someone's country and they attack back, you are at war. You may believe that it has calmed down, but that is not how they get down. They wait for you to fall asleep, and then they hit you up. See, these people only think you're at war when you got troops on the ground. That's not true. Israel and Iran have been at war for how many years? They haven't put any troops on the ground in Iran, Israel. But they've been at war for all these years. I'm telling y'all. But now, all of a sudden, everybody's turned their back on. This is hilarious to me. All these same people, all these same Make America Great Again supporters that love Candace Owens, they swore by her and talked about me like a dog when I said, bro, that girl, now all of a sudden they hate Candace Owens. Make it make sense, because she said this.
That is just
patently ridiculous. What about when he killed General Soleimani, one of Iran's top military commanders?
Sure, an assassination, a strike, and that, of course, came with some risk. It's a little bit different to be flying out B-6 bombers in the middle of the night and dropping bombs at the behest of Bibi Netanyahu, which brings me to the second point. The reason that America wants a regime change in Iran is because Bibi Netanyahu is demanding it. And that answers the question as to why there is this split in the MAGA movement. What we are seeing right now is the infiltration of Israel first people, the neocons, people who have always wanted never-ending wars, and the people who have recognized that following Israel's foreign policy initiatives has led to America being on the decline. And so that's where I stand. I am with the MAGA people who grew up, I call us Generation 9/11, who were told that America was going to be rendered safer, cleaner. All we had to do was agree to go to, well, ironically, war with Iraq because of weapons of mass destruction. It's all of the same rhetoric dating back to 9/11, all of the same tactics of trying to smear people who are against this war as supporting jihadists. It is not my business to affect a regime change in Iran. It's simply not our business. It doesn't impact us one way or the other. And we also are completely done with the idea that with this decades-long idea that we're doing it to spread democracy because we believe in international liberalism. There was no imminent threat to the United States when Trump made this decision to do what Bibi wanted. And I want to be clear here. This was not Trump's decision. It was Bibi Netanyahu's decision. And that is the reason that he did it. And we're very aware that Israel is dictating our foreign policy, and we would now like that to stop.
Okay. That's crazy how Candace is critical of a person she voted for, but now everybody hates her. Make this make sense. I don't get y'all people, man. Y'all hate Candace now because she's critical, right? And I'm going to say this again. To the person Matt says, Tigger, you whack, she's keeping it real right here. Did I say she wasn't? You idiot. Get your stupid ass off my channel, you damn fool. I'm saying it's funny because I was saying this, you buffoon. I was saying the same thing. And people were saying, oh, come on, Tigger, man. Well, what are you talking about, dude? Candace Owens, who's been one of Trump's biggest supporters, period. Now, all of a sudden, she's critical of him, and I'm watching her comment section of her channel. They hate her now. They're all turning on her now. This is insane. All because she spoke her mind and what she saw. Make it make sense. This shows you again, you can't have an opinion. Shout out to my boy Hot Rod in the building. Big Hot Rod, salute to you. Right? But when she thought Harvey Weinstein was innocent, y'all rolled with her. When she didn't care about Trump saying grab him by the you-know-what, y'all rolled with her. Now, she critical of Trump, and now y'all hate her. Make it make sense. So you can't be critical of a person that you voted for if they're doing something that they said they wouldn't do. Make it make sense. Are you a sheep, or are you a person who demands what you voted for and what you asked for? There's no problem with you demanding what you voted for and asked for. Right? Crazy work, bro.
You wouldn't disagree, presumably, that Iran has been the main sponsor of terrorism in the Middle East through the Houthis, through Hezbollah, through Hamas. I mean, that's widely accepted and recognized. They've done it.
I know, things widely accepted. No, that's just kind of...
Really? You don't think
Israel has been a terrorist state. Okay, Israel right now is imparting a genocide and a Holocaust on the Gazan people. So I'm really over this idea like somehow Israel has the moral high ground and we have to get behind that.
I didn't say that.
We got to go after the bad guys.
I wasn't saying that.
We have.
Oh, hang on. Look, we can come to Gaza where I think we'll reach agreement about what Israel's government's been doing there in the last few months.
But it's relevant. If you're going to call Iranians terrorists, if they right now had an open concentration camp where they were mass killing their own people, we would all be saying this is ridiculous. So it's rich to me that people are concerned about Iran having nukes. But I'm concerned about Israel, who won't even admit that they have nukes, while at the same time, they are executing a genocide and a Holocaust in Gaza that the world is watching. So who's the bigger terrorist is the question today. I would say as an American that if we're going to get behind a regime change, it should be in Israel first.
But again, they mad at Candace now. They mad at Candace now because she's been critical of Donald Trump and the things she's saying now about Israel. They're mad at Candace. All these are the same people who lifted her up or who champion this woman. Smash the like button if y'all come on in here tonight. I can't believe Candace took this. I can't, bro. For the life of me, I cannot believe that Candace Owens is taking this stance. I cannot believe it, bro. I swear I can't believe it, man.
That would be my position. I think the position of a lot of people who are waking up to the fact that Zionism has brought us nothing but grief in America. Can you name one positive thing that Zionists have contributed to America? That us fighting these perpetual wars on behalf of Zionism has contributed to America?
But can you also recognize that Israel, placed where it is, as a tiny thumbprint in the middle of a region where you have massive countries full of a lot of people that want to wish them harm. And in the case of the terror groups like Hamas, Hezbollah, the Houthis, actually want to get rid of Israel and all Israelis altogether, can you accept that if you have a huge nation like Iran with 90 million people, and they are facilitating these terror groups to that purpose, that Iran has to defend itself? Now, I would not disagree with you about what has been going on in Gaza in the last few months. I've been very vocal in my criticism of that. Nor do I disagree, by the way, that it wouldn't help Israel if they did have regime change and Netanyahu wasn't prime minister anymore. So on those points, I think we have agreement. But I come back to the fact that the reason Trump has done this, I think, is that he has for a long time said Iran cannot have a nuclear bomb. I think he's absolutely right to believe that would be a pretty terrifying escalation of the power of a country that's been so wedded to terrorism in the region. And I think he took the action for that reason. So I don't really agree that he's only doing it because Bibi Netanyahu wants him to go along and do it. I think he's doing it because he believes it's in America's strategic interest that Iran does not have a nuclear weapon. Enough about 9 to 5. What about the most important bit?
Crazy work was going on right here, y'all. Do y'all see this? I just want to know, do y'all see the same thing I'm looking at right here? Candace Owens, bro. Unbelievable stuff, man. I literally cannot believe it, bro.
Within the American people,
no president in living memory has, with almost zero exceptions, has bothered to get congressional pre-approval for military strikes. We know that. You know that.
Yeah, we know that. And that's not okay. By the way, that's not okay. That's
an argument. Than anybody, right?
Yes.
I mean, Obama never asked anybody.
I'm not an Obama supporter. Yeah, that doesn't make it okay. By the way, like that argument, just so we're clear, saying, well, we've been doing it wrong forever, so we should just keep doing it wrong, is not an argument that's right.
I don't disagree with you about that.
Okay, so I disagree with Obama doing it. I disagree with Trump doing it.
Enough.
And especially when what we're talking about is what could rise to be a nuclear war, right? We should have done things the right way. And he had indicated that he was going to wait 2 weeks, and then he didn't wait 2 weeks because Bibi Netanyahu, at least according to the Israeli press, if you believe it, said, we're not waiting 2 weeks. We want this done immediately. But I will say, you are correct. He's not just doing this because Bibi Netanyahu demands it. He's also doing it because Miriam Adelson demands it. He took $100 million from Miriam Adelson. It was very clear what she wanted. She was clear that she wanted to annex the West Bank. So there was an imperialist plan that was put into place. And unfortunately, when you do a deal with the devil, you're going to have to eventually deliver the pound of flesh. And that is what Trump is doing, in my opinion. And
boy, they mad at her right now in MAGA land. They are heated with Candace Owens. If I can show y'all all these comments, man, unbelievable. And to the dude, know your 504, you're wrong, sir. The United States don't get to pick when the war is over, sir. You don't get to go over there and drop them things in some people's country and then say, yeah, it's over with. No, that ain't how it works, Jack. You might think it's over with. They ain't said it's over with. They ain't said it's over with. So if you come in over and say, oh, man, we ain't going to do this. No, that ain't how it works. You don't get to go do something on somebody else's yard and think that, oh, it's over with now because you said it's over with. No dice, sir. That's not how it works.
More evidence of that is the fact when he tweeted that there could be a Trump hotel in Gaza. I mean, that was truly, in my opinion, the most inhumane thing he's ever tweeted.
Well, I think it was pretty clear what he was. I think what he was doing there was pretty clear. He's saying he wants a better life for Palestinian people, a life where they have beaches.
Well, when you pair that with Jared Kushner and Jared Kushner's private equity firm and their ties to what's happening in Israel, and Jared Kushner being on camera shortly after October 7th saying, wow, that property could be worth a lot of money, it makes me a little bit uncomfortable. It makes Americans a little bit uncomfortable. Now, you've asked me to come onto your show to explain to you how the now very fractured MAGA movement is feeling, and I'm telling you that, right?
She said the MAGA movement is fractured, very fractured. But everybody get mad at me when I came in here. I don't even really talk about politics on my channel, but I talk about this because this is a serious international situation. But Candace Owens, somebody who has never, she basically led the charge for people to go vote for Trump. This is unbelievable stuff. I can't believe what I'm hearing. I literally can't believe what I'm hearing.
I do also.
I find the split in the conservative movement in America genuinely fascinating because it really is a genuine schism now.
Yeah, there's a genuine schism, and it's only going one direction. And by the way, we shouldn't even call this a schism, because trying to dress this up and delude us into believing that the MAGA movement is what has Meghan McCain cheering, John Bolton cheering, has Mark Levin cheering. The literal faces of the Never Trump movement are saying this is real MAGA. Yeah, we're not going to be that deluded.
But you're on the same side as Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. How do you feel about that?
You're asking about the MAGA movement. The MAGA movement has always been a movement that explicitly did not want to keep involving our sons and daughters in the Middle East. So we have not changed that position. If AOC was always anti-war, then she should have thrown on a red hat in 2020 and in 2015 and joined the MAGA movement. That would have been fantastic.
But are you saying America should never use any military action?
As Greta Thunberg when it comes to the Palestinians.
Right, but are you saying, Candace,
I am. I'm aligned.
She out here stir-frying Piers Morgan. God, dog. I never thought I'd say this, man.
Yeah, but are you saying that America should never use any military action then?
No, I'm not saying America can never use any military action. In fact, what I said earlier was I could get behind a regime change in Israel because I think it would fix a lot of issues that are happening and that has been happening to America over time.
Like but why wouldn't you want it in Iran? I'm reading an Amnesty International report from 2024.
Because Iran is not negatively impacting. I'm answering your question because Iran's regime is not negatively impacting America on a day-to-day basis.
When the leader of Iran says death to America, why doesn't that concern you?
That's a chant. And by the way, I want to be very clear. Why are they chanting death to America? Why are they chanting that? That's kind of a random thing. Like, I don't wake up one day and go like,
dead?
But why are they specifically chanting as opposed to saying, I don't know, death to China or death to Russia? What is it specifically about America?
Death to America, death to Israel, death to the United Kingdom, actually.
Oh, okay.
Death to pretty much anyone that wants to stand up to them.
Could have had something to do with our actions in the Middle East is why I'm saying that we need a change in foreign policy. Maybe it has something to do with...
God, oh, she put this dude she put him on the goddamn on the back burner, man. God, dog. Bro, why y'all mad at Candace right now, man? Why is y'all mad at Candace, bro? Bro, Candace did a whole 180, bro. And they all, half of them mad at her. She losing half of her support. Half of them riding with her. She is right about that. I'm seeing that half of them like, yo, she's telling the truth, bro. Like, Trump ain't doing what he said he was going to do, which is stay out of these situations. I'm looking. Half of them riding with her. That video did over 1 million views in one day. Over 1 million views in one day. Crazy work, bro.
Just like killing 1 million Iraqi civilians, okay, because Bibi Netanyahu got on a congressional stage and said there are weapons of mass destruction, and we took that to the bank, and there actually were no weapons of mass destruction, so we just killed 1 million. It could have something, I could be crazy.
Now, I said that the other day. Everybody got mad at me when I said that. I came in here. I was like, bro, the same thing happened in Iraq. They said they had WMDs over there. They ain't had nothing. We went over all them people land and stuff, caused all that issue. They ain't had nothing over there. It was unjustified. Well, people didn't want to listen to me. I told you. You got to make these people show y'all proof of the things they say. If they can't show you proof, they need to sit down and shut up.
It has something to do with our actions in the Middle East. The fact that we have 2,000 troops stationed in Syria right now under the guise of saying that we're fighting ISIS, while at the same time we know that Bibi Netanyahu funded the Al-Qaeda adjacent fronts because he wanted to overthrow Syria, and they again expand their borders, immediately take on territory and sell us absolute nonsense. We're talking about funding Hamas. Bibi Netanyahu funded Hamas. There is footage of Bibi Netanyahu saying this stuff on camera. So it's just so ridiculous to me to pretend that they're in some predicament, that they may be eradicated soon, which is why they have to keep funding all of these terrorist groups and then pretending that they're victims of terror, when in fact they are people that are imparting it worldwide. You know, I just think that, like I said, Generation 9/11 has grown up, and I think that our eyes are very clear here, and we recognize that our relationship with Israel has become increasingly problematic, and it always was problematic. So I'll again ask the questions, Piers. I'm asking you because we're having a conversation. Yeah. Name something positive that our Zionist AIPAC foreign policy has brought to America.
Well, I think the positive side of, if you want an answer about that, is that America has been Israel's steadfast ally because it recognizes as a country that Israel has been under an almost unique, multifaceted threat on its border for a very long time from people that want to destroy it.
And shout out to my boy Hot Rod out there in Kuwait right now, Command Sergeant Major over operations. Yes, sir. You already know what it is, Hot Rod. The biggest, the absolute biggest. Salute to my brother Hot Rod in the building. Y'all already know what it is, man. Hot Rod always doing it B.I.G. Believe that, Hot Rod. You understand? I try to tell him, Hot Rod, they ain't want to listen to me. You over there. I've been over there before. They ain't want to listen to me. But you know what I'm saying? I try to tell these people, man, when you really touch the land, bro, there ain't really no beef like that. A lot of this stuff be caked up on the news. They don't want to listen to me, Hot Rod. It is what it is.
You may not see that as a benefit, but Israel has been very supportive to the United States in many ways, right? So why shouldn't America...
I just want something concrete that has been benefit. Like, we got better in America in this way. Like, just name something. Gas prices, just something that the average American can relate to.
Well, you're not going to have a correlation between Zionism and gas prices in America. Of course you're not.
No, I'm just
obviously
just tell me one thing
obvious tangible benefits.
What your argument here is like, well, you get a pat on the back and you can say that you helped this country, which was formed in 1948 by pretending to be refugees, if you will, and being invited into the homes of Palestinians, the horrific story
of what happened. Well, they weren't pretending to be refugees. They were people fleeing a Holocaust.
Let's be clear. Let me finish my statement.
What do you mean pretending to be refugees?
Let me finish my statement. When I say pretending to be refugees and being invited into the home, you would think that these people were helpless and were going to be grateful to the people that hosted them. People like Muhammad Hadid, Bella Hadid and Gigi Hadid's father, who was an infant at this time, and in his mother's arms, she had just given birth. They had invited these refugees because of the goodness of their heart. And then one day they return home and their doors are locked and they are told that if you try to enter, you are going to be shot and killed. That is the reality of how Israel was established as a state. Okay, that is not a state that you can...
Candace over here stir frying, man. God, dog, man. Hey, man, listen, man. They mad at... Yo, bro. Bro, I'm looking at... Like I said, these comments got me blown over this situation, bro. I've never seen so many people upset with Candace Owens ever, especially over in the MAGA movement. Shout out to Kimberly Stevens with a donation in the Cash App. Shout out to Melissa Thaxton with a donation in the Cash App. Shout out to Lisa Pritchett with a donation in the Cash App. Shout out to Desaya Jashur with the donation in the Cash App. Salute to all of y'all for supporting the channel, man. If y'all want, link is pinned at the top of the chat. Let's keep going, man.
Fight from history. Most Americans growing up actually believe what happened was that, okay, it was a little messy. That's what happens after wars. Borders get changed. But at the very least, they were given money. I mean, you've lived here for hundreds of years. Here's money for your property. No, that's not what happened. They were forced out of their homes at gunpoint. Listen, and it's wrong. So we get to be the nation on the back. According to you, the thing that America gets, let me finish. I'm going to let you.
She's sunning this dude. Bro, I can't believe this Candace. Oh, my God, bro. I can't believe Candace is going all the way with this. Crazy work. She going all the way with this one.
Your show, we can, but let me finish. Your argument is that what we get to be is that nation that keeps supporting it as they continue to move their borders in this way. Now we're seeing that incursion into Gaza, and we are certainly going to see it by the end of this administration in the West Bank, because like I said, that is why Miriam Adelson gave Trump $100 million.
Look, as you know, I oppose what the Israeli government is doing now in Gaza. I oppose the expansion of settlements on the West Bank. I think all of that is completely wrong. I do think America supports Israel because it remains the only democracy in the Middle East, and that's an important...
They're not a democracy. Stop saying that, Pierce. You know better.
They have elections.
It's not a democracy.
They have elections.
But who gets to vote in those elections? Do the Gazans get to vote in that election?
Well, the Israelis get to vote in Israel, obviously.
Okay, so you're basically saying America had a democracy. We had
Israel
laws that said Black Americans couldn't. Black Americans
Israel
couldn't
moved
vote.
out. It is indisputable that Israel moved out of Gaza in 2005, and there was an election, and Hamas got elected. Right now, I agree with you.
But Bibi Netanyahu was on camera saying that they were going to fund Hamas into power. So they orchestrated that because if they wanted to create the solution.
I agree with you that Netanyahu wanted to cause a split between the Palestinian Authority and Hamas. It was divide and rule. It was a catastrophically bad strategy, and it led to what happened on October the 7th over a 20-year period. There's no doubt it was a terrible thing that Netanyahu did, one of the many reasons I think he should go. But there was no doubt that the Israelis pulled out of Gaza and allowed them to have elections, and they elected Hamas, and the rest has been disastrous history.
Because the Israelis funded, because Bibi Netanyahu, they funded Hamas.
I don't disagree with you, but they still had elections.
So it's like we rigged an election, but look what the election results show is that they wanted to put Hamas into power. And so when we talk about who is funding these terrorists, the answer is Bibi Netanyahu. And I don't want to get into his corruption trials, but every single person watching this right now should go pursue the documentary, The Bibi Files, because it is absolutely stunning to understand.
I believe one of the reasons. I believe one of the reasons. Let me
answer the question, because you still haven't given me anything other than, like, you guys get a pat on the back for supporting this.
Real talk, she's stir-frying Piers Morgan, man. I never thought the day I'd say this about Candace Owens, bro. And I know people say, hey, Ticket, all she's going to do is another 180, and she's going to be back on what you call it again. Bro, listen, let me tell you something. It's rare that you hear people that vote for Trump be critical of him. And I'm saying this to all the people that's in here that voted for Trump. It's rare that you see people who vote for Trump be critical of him. It's rare that you see people who voted for Joe Biden be critical of Joe Biden. These are facts. People are afraid to be critical out loud of the people they voted for. I watched this with Joe Biden. People who voted for Joe Biden made every lame excuse knowing what it was with him. Didn't want to call it out because they were afraid of the backlash. This is the same thing you see with Trump. Anybody that voted for Trump, they're afraid to call Trump out when he's wrong. And then if you do it, they'll call you a hater. And I'm talking about people that's doing it out loud on big platforms like Candace Owens is. Right? Like, let me give you an example. You'll never see Roland Martin go crazy on Joe Biden. Never. You'll never see Roland Martin lose his cool and go crazy on Joe Biden. You'll never see it. They literally hitch their horse to whoever they put it to, and they riding that thing on home. It ain't about what's right. It's not about what's fair. It's about what you like. Think about what I just said.
Created nation in the Middle East. I also just like to say all of the bad things that we have gotten because of our continued relation.
Again, and I'm gonna give y'all a perfect example. What I said the other day. Joe Biden pardoned his own son after his son was found guilty of committing crimes. And people who voted for Joe Biden didn't have no issue with that. You didn't hear them complaining about that. They had no issue with that. You didn't even hear them stand up to Joe Biden about that. They didn't care. They ignored all the signs that Joe Biden gave y'all that something wasn't right with him. They didn't care. They didn't care. They did not want to. What they did is they pushed him out and made it look like all of a sudden Kamala Harris was this big time, candidate that everybody loved. I'm just telling y'all what the truth is. They didn't even like Kamala Harris before. But when they finally got pushed to the point where they had to do something about Joe Biden because they knew he was going to get annihilated in campaign, then what did they do? Kicked his ass out the door and propped up Kamala Harris. Now, I don't agree with all the criticism everybody got of Kamala Harris, like the personal shots. But as far as the criticisms of her record and things she said, yeah, that's fair game. But it's just funny to me how people feel like because you vote for somebody, you can't be critical of them if they don't do something that they say they was going to do or something like that.
With Israel. First and foremost, the open borders. And you can relate to this. People in the UK, they just can't seem to connect the dots.
All right.
Oh, my gosh. What's happening?
Shout out to my boy Hot Rod. He came through. Hot Rod, I ain't even see your Cash App, man. Salute to you, brother. I seen you just now. My bad, dog. Salute to my boy Hot Rod in that Cash App, man. I seen you, big dog. Salute to you, brother. Much love to you, homie.
You know what?
No, but I want to say this. Okay, we don't understand where all these refugees are coming from. Oh my God, where are all these refugees coming from? Who's funding them coming over into these borders? Well, this is what you get when you keep supporting these nonstop wars, when you keep bombing where these people live. And it's not even just a conspiracy, by the way. If you're like, oh, well
actually, you're wrong about this, because the vast majority of people coming into the UK illegally are not coming from war-torn countries in the Middle East. They're actually economic migrants.
Okay.
So it's just not true.
Okay, but let's connect that. Let's connect that. When you say economic migrants, are we talking about like
people who literally want to come to the UK for a better life?
And when Gaddafi was heading up Libya and the country was on the up and up, and he was working with the United Nations, and then all of a sudden he warned that if you collapse Libya and turn it into a place where refugees are escaping, that this is going to be your problem, Europe. He warned that. So then it actually happened, and now we're just calling them economic migrants. We're going to pretend that we had nothing to do.
People coming from Libya.
Okay, where are you speaking about?
Well, for example, I think it was last year, a third of all the people who came into the UK on the border on the small boats illegally, it turned out were young economic migrant males from Albania, which last time I checked, we hadn't invaded. So look, let me pull you back to something you said, which has caused a lot of controversy, which is this issue of dishonorable discharge. Let's take a listen.
I do believe that if war in Iran is on the agenda, and that appears so, get dishonorably discharged. Who cares? Who cares? Why should you go die in a foreign land?
Man, bro, I can't believe Candace is saying, bro, Candace Owens, bro, I cannot believe that she's saying this, y'all. I literally can't believe that this woman is saying this right now. But I totally, listen, once again, she says, look, man, go get a dishonorable discharge and just leave, bro. Don't go out there and lose. Like I said before, I'm totally against these wars. I feel like it's completely wrong to send people out here to these wars to lose their life for nothing, for things that could have been avoided. Sometimes it's better to mind your own business. When people come looking for smoke with you, then you give them all the smoke they're looking for. But sometimes you have to mind your own business, man. And that's the problem I have when we put our nose in other people's business, right? And I'm telling y'all this, people ain't gonna feel it until loved ones is not here, until the economy is jacked up again. So people not gonna say this stuff that Candace Owens is saying right now. Now, again, she may do a 180 next week. I don't know. But I just can't believe that she ever did this, as much as she was just 1,000% hardcore Trump and nothing else. Now that she going hard body like this,
you now have the benefit of 2020. You can see, think about those men and those women who died because they were pitched that they were serving their country because there were weapons of mass destruction, right? They were serving their country because the Taliban, they were serving their country, whatever, and these people gave up their lives. And ask yourselves, for what?
I told you, she had to been listening to me when she said that. I came in here and I told everybody that same thing like 4 days ago. Everybody in the show know what I said. You got all these people going over here fighting, losing their life for nothing, bro. And everybody talking about, oh, it's patriotism, man. Are you crazy? You avoid situations when you can not have to lose American life out there on the battlefield. When you don't have to do that, let me tell y'all something. War should be the last option at all times. The very last option is invading somebody's country or war. The very last option. I totally believe that. It should be the only thing is when somebody come at you and attacks you, then you have a right to defend yourself. But that should be the very last option, bro. Right? I'm telling y'all this. So you can say, hey, man, I don't want that. But once you go dropping them things in other people's countries, once you go dropping bombs in other people's countries, it's over with, bro. They're going to get it cracking. I'm telling y'all this.
And the answer to that question is for the elites, like toy soldiers.
When you said that, were you aware of the repercussions if people dishonorably discharged?
So just to put this into context, this is like the live Q&A portion at the end of my show. And being facetious, but also being completely honest, that they should begin to consider, and that was somebody asking, what should we do? Like, should we leave the military because they also are recognizing No, I don't regret saying that. I don't.
But you
regret
know the
having people
repercussions if
actually
you do
think
discharge dishonorably.
Okay, well, I would imagine that the people that are in the military who were going to, if they were going to listen to my podcast and they were going to dishonorably discharge, that they would know the consequences. So it's completely ridiculous. And again, we see this over and over again where people can't answer the broader questions. They try to suddenly peg in, well, you said this one thing. No. The broader conversation that we are having.
It's not a small thing.
No, let me finish. Let me finish. Let me finish.
You're basically you're encouraging U.S. servicemen and women
you ask
to
a question, you play a clip, and I'm trying to answer it. You know, you can't do that. You ask a question.
Well, you're trying to downplay it,
and I'm responding. No, I am. No, you're trying to upplay it. Is what the issue is. This is exactly.
I'm just repeating what you said.
No, you're not. You're playing what I said, and I'm responding to it and telling you that the broader piece of that conversation, when you have troops that are now asking that question, is they are recognizing that America is in steep decline, that our military comes back and they are treated like dirt. That a lot of these men, and we're talking about decades, white American males come back and they're told that they're racist and they're treated like crap, that they're white supremacists, that they have a different vision for this country. So why are they dying in these overseas wars for Bibi Netanyahu? Okay, and let me again try to answer that question that I asked you at the beginning, which is what has Zionism won America? What has these never ending? No, let me finish. Why won't you let me answer that? Why won't you let me actually say what people are recognizing? You come back and there are open borders and you're told that you are racist. Okay, you come back and you're told that you are racist if you don't want open borders. Meanwhile, you're sent overseas to defend Israel's borders. It's a nonsense. And who's funding these open borders? According to Barry Weiss, and I quote, Barry Weiss said this verbatim, the Jewish connection to the refugee is not a conspiracy. That's something that we are very proud of. And she was
Hey, y'all smash the like button as y'all come on in here, man. Everybody hit the like button. Regardless of where y'all stand at, we should all be able to have a conversation without beefing. We should all be able to have a conversation without beefing in this comment section, even if we disagree. Smash the like button, share, and subscribe to the channel. Bro, I promise everybody's listening to this video. I can't believe she took this. I cannot believe this, bro. I can't believe it, bro. I can't believe this shit, bro.
She was referencing the organization HIAS, and she says it explicitly, which she said was started by them in the 1880s, which includes immigrants that have come in like Sergey Brin. They are still the organization that is operating at our border right now, okay? That is problematic, that we have open borders while we continually and routinely are told that we have to defend somebody else's borders, okay? And again, these never-ending wars in the Middle East at the behest of Israel. Bibi Netanyahu is the one that called for Americans to invade Iraq, Libya, Syria, Afghanistan, and now Iran, and we've done it. We're told Israel can defend itself, okay? But why do we have currently 2,000 troops that are in Syria under the guise of fighting ISIS? And like I said, we know Israel themselves fund terror-adjacent militants like they did to overthrow Assad. And we're done with the BS of, okay, well, they weren't really involved, Israel, in Afghanistan, because even when we fight those never-ending wars, Israel wins. Everybody knows that our boys were out there in Afghanistan.
You don't understand something, ma'am. And I'm going to say this to you respectfully because I have respect for you. You understand what I'm saying? You have not disrespected me. I have respect for you. And we can have a conversation. I respect you to have a conversation. You say that Trump didn't do what he did Sunday night to be in a war. It's not about that. This is what you guys think. You guys, Carla, let me say something to you. Carla, I want you to think about something. I'm going to give you a perfect example, ma'am. Carla, if you have a house, right? And I come into your house, Carla, without your permission. I come into your house. Carla, I don't touch you, Carla. I don't touch you at all. Nothing happened to you. But I destroy everything in your house. Is it beef? Is it beef? I didn't touch you. So I can destroy everything in your house, say, nah, I ain't looking for a war. And it's supposed to just be over with? I'm asking you, Carla. See, this is the type of thinking that people have to have. You can't go messing with people, stuff, and thinking that ain't nothing gonna pop off. This is the part where I think that you have to understand what I'm saying to you. The fact that the United States entered these people's land without permission, ma'am, that right there in itself, let me repeat myself to you again, ma'am. That right there within itself is a violation. So that's why I had to put it to you in simple terms, Carla. If I walk in your house right now without your permission right? I don't have your permission at all. And I damage everything in your house, but I don't touch you. I leave you alone. That is a violation, man. That is a violation. Point blank period, man. There ain't no other way around it, man. And that means it's war. Because everybody that's in this chat room listening, you can say, hey, man, we didn't do that to go to war. Man, if somebody went in your house right now and flattened all your tires, spray painted your car, and then torched it, you gonna tell me y'all ain't got beef? Come on, bro. This is common thinking. And I break it down like that so people can understand what I'm saying, dog. That's why I break it down like that, man. So you have to really simplify it for people, so people can really understand what you're saying. So yeah, Carla, that's all I'm saying. Sis, that's all I'm saying to you. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying that you can't go bothering people, go on other people's land and expect it's just gonna be cool. Cause I know one thing: somebody come to my house, ruin all my stuff, and walk away and think we cool. Now we got a problem. It's gonna escalate. See what I'm saying? So that's the point that I'm making, that I think people have to understand what is going on. And that's what I'm saying about the whole situation with the United States getting involved with Iran and Iraq. In Israel. They should never did that. They should never got involved with the Iraq situation. You come to find out, they didn't have nothing in Iraq. No WMDs, nothing. All them people lost their life for nothing. Think about this. Kids grew up without their fathers. Wives grew up without their husbands. Husbands came up without their wives. All these things happen based off a lie. And once you start something, regardless of whether or not anybody got taken out, once you start something, it's on and cracking. It's on and cracking.
Afghanistan guarding poppy fields, okay?
And we should have over 2,000 likes in the comments, because I ain't lying. They all listening to me, and I ain't lying. They know I ain't lying. They know I ain't lying.
You know what happened after we allegedly, quote unquote, lost in Afghanistan? What happened to all those poppy fields, those poppy flowers that our military was guarding? Well, the opioid crisis hit America via the Sackler family, who quite literally built the School of Medicine at Tel Aviv University. So we're just done, okay? And there's no way that we're going to go backwards. We're not going to allow you guys to emotionally condition us to go, oh, well, we got to protect Israel because of the Holocaust. It is over. They're imparting a Holocaust. America would like off this crazy train.
Okay, for the benefit of viewers who don't know what I was talking about, under the Uniform Code of Military Justice, Article 90, dishonourable discharge can result in forfeiture of all pay and allowances up to 5 years confinement, which is a pretty heavy penalty to pay.
Yeah, I brought my kids to go to jail before they fought for Israel. I'll say that honestly.
Okay.
I would.
Excuse me. To the person who says she called black men sorry, now you're going to praise her. Sir, I never said I like Candace Owens. I never said I like Candace Owens. Why are you putting words in my mouth? Oh, excuse me, ma'am, Felicia. Why are you putting words in my mouth? When did I say I like Candace Owens? When did I say I like her? Let me say this to you, Felicia. This is the mentality people have to get out of. You don't have to like somebody for what them saying, for something that they say to be truthful. Let me say this again. A person that you may not like may say something that's the truth. What we do in this world, and let me say this to you, ma'am, and I'm going to bring this to you respectfully too, because you're a beautiful woman. Let me say this to you. What we do in this world, and I'm going to say this again, everybody needs to understand where I'm coming from, right? Think about this. Just because you don't like a person don't mean they might not say something that's true. We have a mentality that if we like something, we don't care what they do, good or bad. We're going to accept it. This is the same stuff y'all see going on with Diddy right now. People don't care that Diddy beat these girls' ass. People don't care that Diddy violated these people. People don't care about none of that shit. You know why? Because they say he's black and they like him. So they're willing to erase all of the bullshit that they know this man has done. They're willing to erase all of it because they're blind. And they're blinded by their fake-ass allegiance to him or to a community that he's not even fully has allegiance to. These are facts. So all I'm saying is I can't believe she said that. That's what I'm saying to you. So I'm saying, bro, I can't believe she's saying this. How is that praising her? But guess what? I will say, hey, I am surprised that she is challenging the man she voted for. Because a lot of people don't do it on both sides. I told you this. Go to Roland Martin's channel and tell me one video where Roland Martin was out there blasting Joe Biden for not doing what he said he was going to do. Come on now. I've sat back quietly for all these years and watched this stuff. Just because I don't talk about it on YouTube don't mean people. Let me tell y'all something. People put me in, try to put you in a box when you come on YouTube. Let me see. For example, if you come on YouTube talking basketball, people think that's all you know how to talk about. They don't know you personally. They don't know nothing about your personal life, personal experiences, what you've been involved with, what you're interested in, what you may have studied. They don't care about that. They put you in a box, right? But then once you start talking about other things and showing people, nah, man, it's more than that. I show people I can talk about anything and do numbers. Anything. I can come talk about this political stuff and do numbers. Right? Because I know what I'm talking about. Right? So when you think about what I'm saying to you, man, we live in a world where people don't want to criticize the people that they support because they don't want to look bad. Right? This happens all over in every spectrum, in politics, in sports, all of this stuff. People love Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant and LeBron James. They never want to go against them because they love them so much. Even if they know they're wrong, they'll still take these people's side. This is the same shit y'all see going on with Diddy right now. These people know Diddy is dead wrong, but they're willing to overlook this man doing all these devilish, demonic things because they want to hold up this fake-ass old black card or this fake-ass, oh, man, they're doing this. I don't want to hear that shit. It's about treating people and doing what's right to by people. And this is how you know you don't do people right. When you a dude like Diddy and you go to trial and you ain't got no goddamn witnesses. Nobody gonna stand on the stand and testify for you. Nobody. That shows you who you really are. So I'm surprised that Candace Owens is doing it because I haven't seen none of the Trump supporters that have a big voice like that doing what she's doing, which is being critical of him. This is the same thing I'm saying about Joe Biden. All them people, Roland Martin, all these people, you never hear them say nothing critical about Joe Biden. And they know Joe Biden be full of shit about a lot of stuff, and they still don't say nothing. But they very critical of the other side. You have to be willing to clean house and take care of what's in your house before you can go out here acting like you're going to take care of somebody else. Because if you protect the funkiness and the foolishness going on in your house, what type of person are you really? What type of person are you really? Think about what I'm saying now. Because I'm putting some real talk on people now. I'm giving you something to really think about. Food for thought.
I have 3 sons, and I'm going to be honest with you, Pierce. I'm glad you told me that consequence. I take that consequence any day to them being sent back over in a coffin because they died for Israel. So.
Okay, but I think the one thing you're missing, look, I come from a big military family, a lot of military in my family, and a lot of people fighting wars on behalf of the United States are not doing it because they think Bibi Netanyahu wants them to. They're doing it because
some of them do that, and they write into my show and I answer the question.
Many of them would, and they might be offended by you suggesting that's the only reason they're doing it.
And they can watch your show, and they can be offended all they want, but I think it's more offensive the way that our military is treated, the veterans are treated, and the gaslighting that takes place when we're told that we have to defend everybody's borders, whatever.
I actually think America treats veterans better than almost any country in the world.
I mean, this has always been an open conversation, and I'm just saying that if my boys were being drafted to fight this.
Felicia, let me answer your question, man, because I see where this is going. Hey, y'all smash the like button, share the videos, y'all come on in here. Ma'am, you said she's doing the same thing she did for MAGA. Now she's coming over here, so now we supposed to listen to her, make it make sense. Ma'am, let me tell you something. If anybody's saying something that's true, and you know it's true, there's nothing to argue about. You might not like that person. You might not respect that person. But if what they're saying is true, how can you debunk it? Let me say this again. If what somebody is saying is true, let's take our thoughts out of it. Let's take our feelings out of it. All these other things. If what someone is saying is true, factually true, what are we talking about? What are we talking about? I'm just saying, you don't have to like her. You don't even have to respect her. But you can at least say, hey, man, that part right there, what she's saying, that might be true. And just leave it at that. You have the right to reserve how you feel about her. Right? The same way, I don't like Candace Owens. I've said this 1,000 times. I don't like Candace Owens. But Candace Owens may say something that is true. Right? What am I going to do? Call her a liar when I know what she's saying is true, even if I don't like her? Right? I despise Jason Whitlock. I don't like him at all. I think he is a hater. I think he's a hypocrite, and I think he's scum. But is some pieces of things he say have truth to it? Yes. And that's where you leave it. Right? So this is what I'm saying. Like, we got to get that part out of us, that hatred part, or that we got to get that out of us, because we ain't never gonna make progress as people. Period. If we still stuck on that at all.
This war in Iran, I would be like, you know what, honey, take the other option. And that's not because it's cowardice. It's because when you sign up for the military,
okay, but I would say that the pilots,
you are pledging that you are doing something that is going to better your country.
Candace,
and like I said, our country has been in steep decline since we haven't part of this foreign policy, which is just whatever Israel wants.
Okay, but you made that point. But what I would say to you is the only people so far that have been involved from the American military were the extraordinarily courageous and skillful pilots who flew these B-2 bombers and attacked the nuclear sites and got back safely. So there's been no troops on the ground committed at all, no declaration of war by the United States. We can quibble. Listen, I don't disagree with you. You bomb somewhere, you probably are at war with them. But there is no official declaration of war, just as Trump, when he took out Soleimani and Baghdadi and he attacked Syria and so on, he didn't declare war on those places. And actually it turned out that the apocalyptic warnings of those actions never materialized. So we shall see. I can't let you go without asking. Let me ask you just quickly about...
See, and that's where Piers Morgan made a mistake. He's talking about it never materialized. Bro, that's because they don't fight you the way you want to fight. What they do is they wait for years. Revenge is a dish best served cold, brother. Meaning, you might go hit them tomorrow. They'll wait 8, 9, 10 years to get you back. You don't even know you at war. You say, oh, man, why did they do this? We didn't. Man, this is something happened 10 years ago. They just waited to get you at the right time. People don't think like that. And that's why I keep trying to tell y'all, you have to think in certain ways, especially when we talk about these things we're talking about. You have to think in certain ways. Piers Morgan obviously don't.
The Tucker-Ted Cruz debate, what did you make of that?
Fantastic. It is finally the debate that needed to happen in America, because a part of this nonstop policy is this belief, as you said, Ted Cruz, that if we just do whatever Israel wants, that God's going to bless you. And it's quite ironic because it comes from Protestants, and their normal argument is that the reason why we had to have this fracture in the church was because of indulgences. Well, there's nothing more indulgent than I'm going to be blessed if I just do whatever Israel says. And so because we are finally having that spiritual conversation, which is more important, I suspect there's going to be major changes in the United States going forward. And that is why you're seeing this fracture in the base already.
Tucker, according to Donald Trump, Tucker rang Trump to apologize for some of the more strident rhetoric he's used against him recently. Are you done with Donald Trump, or could you see a way that you would end up perhaps voting for him? I mean, he can't run again, obviously, but would you support him publicly again?
So I want to be clear. I don't regret voting for Donald Trump above Kamala. I think he was the better candidate, certainly a better candidate above Joe Biden. But what I will say is that he's been a chronic disappointment. And I feel embarrassed that I told people to go vote for him because this wasn't going to happen and it is happening. But I I just think that the picture of politics in America is going to look very differently because of his actions. So I don't know where we go from here. I really don't. But this is not the candidate that I voted for.
See? And that's why people got upset with her. Because she blasted Trump. Said, hey, man, this ain't the guy I voted for. I can't believe Candace said that. I still can't believe she said that. I cannot believe she said that. Cynthia says, where is the war? Cynthia, this is the problem that you have, ma'am. You have to understand one thing. They already tried to strike back at our bases overseas, at our American bases. Those missiles got intercepted, right? So nobody got hurt. See, you're saying, where's the war? It's a blessing that Qatar and these people have air defense where they can intercept missiles, because they intercepted those missiles in these Persian Gulf countries where the United States have American bases, right? Think about what I'm saying to you now. But then think about this. You said, where's the war? Once again, these people wage different type of war on you. You can go into and do that to them, and they'll wait 5 years and then a repeat 9/11. And you won't even see it coming, because they don't have the missiles to reach the United States. That's why they attack United States bases close to them, within their missile range. You have to understand. You understand what I'm saying? And this is why you pay attention in social studies. This is why it's important that you travel the world and learn other cultures, ethnicities, languages. It's important, because you say, where's the war? But that's because you only thinking from an American standpoint. You're not thinking from a standpoint, and I'm going to say this again. You're not thinking from a standpoint, right, of Iran. Go ask Iran if we're at war and see what they tell you. Go ask Iran. Go ask Iran. I'm going to say it again. Go ask Iran and see what they tell you, right? See what they tell you. I want y'all to see what they tell you, period. You understand what I'm saying? I want y'all to see what they tell y'all, right? To the brother T-Bone, you can't worry about what that dude say, man. Them people just lies, man. They spread lies and stuff like that, man. All them people, like I said, these people that get behind Diddy, man, it's just demonic energy, bro. And you have to stand against that sometimes, man. Even if you got love for certain people. Y'all might have love for a person, man, but I just don't stand for what they stand for in that point. And that's cool. I don't have to have no personal beef with them. I still love you. You know what I'm saying? I just disagree with you on that. And that's where it's going to stand. But that don't mean I hate you as a person. I want to go. Now, a dude like Bookman, who's the absolute scrub, that's different. You know what I'm saying? Lying, capping ass nigga like that, yeah, that's different. No respect whatsoever. You know what I'm saying? So again, you know. But, you know, Candace Owens, as I told you guys, man, you know, hey, man, this surprised me, man. Y'all got to let me know what y'all think in the comment section, man. What do you guys think about Candace Owens being critical of saying she regrets voting or telling people to go vote for Trump? Because she's saying he basically lied. He said one thing and did another thing. And people will keep telling y'all, oh, we're not at war. Where's the war? These people don't got no brains. Go to Iran and ask the Iranians if they're at war with America right now after what happened. Ask them. Ask them. See, you say no. Because you just think this is like the bully mentality. Like, let me say this to y'all, right? And I'm gonna leave it like this. The bully mentality is this: I can take all these dudes lunch and they ain't gonna do shit. That's the American mentality around the world. Let's just be honest. I'm bigger, I'm stronger, I can do whatever I want to you, and you ain't gonna do shit. I can go take your lunch, I can go punch you in the face, take your lunch, I can do all this stuff to you, and you ain't gonna do nothing because you ain't big enough to fight me back. Right? That's the bully mentality the United States have. But this is what happens when people start planning and plotting against you and finding ways to make this a David and Goliath situation. Or at least to make and send shockwaves to the United States and cause horrific terror and things like that to go on. I'm telling y'all this. And what they do is they wait for you. They wait for you, right? I'm telling y'all this again. They wait for you. They wait for you. And once you fall asleep, that's when they come get you. Y'all let me know what y'all think, man. Let me know what y'all feel about what Candace Owens did, man. Salute to everybody in this comment section. Regardless of where y'all stand at, man, I got love for all of y'all, man. If you got love for me, because I'm not in here trying to spread hate on nobody. You understand what I'm saying? But y'all definitely gotta let me know what y'all think, man, and how y'all feel, man. Salute to everybody tapping on in. Like, share, and subscribe, y'all. Peace.
All right, you guys. So we appreciate everybody that popped in, supported this video. Make sure that you guys shop our merch. We got that new A Weapons merchandise right there below this video. All you got to do is look below. The links will be pinned at the top of the comment section as well to get the merch, to donate, support the channel, and subscribe to our podcast show. You'll see all those links pinned at the top of the comment section of this video. And we appreciate everybody that supports this channel and our networks. Also, that straight drop weight loss formula. Go to the website. You guys will see that. A link for that will be pinned at the top of the comment section as well. Go right there for all of your weight loss needs. Straight drop weight loss formula. We have a lot of testimonials on the website. You can go to www.str-8-drop.com and get you some of the weight loss formula today. Take your weight loss serious. Get in the gym, work out, exercise, and do what you got to do to stay on point. We appreciate everybody that's been locked into this video. Again, all the links are pinned at the top of the comment section below. Salute to all of y'all. And again, we appreciate everybody who support what we doing over here.